I'm Stuart Cameron. Welcome to Friday's look at rugby in the Borders. First of all, a quick look back at last weekend when we saw 20 tries and 135 points scored in just two Booker Border League games. Holders Gala beat Peebles 45-14 on the Friday night with a 7-try haul, while Melrose won at Philippoch against Selkirk 46-30. It was a cracking game, Melrose winning the try count 7-5, but after going 39-3 up early in the second half, Selkirk hit back with an astonishing 5 second-half tries. It was a terrific way to start the competitive season here in the Borders, and tomorrow at noon, Gala will play Jed Forest, also in the Booker Border League, as part of their open day at Netherdale. Tomorrow is going to see a feast of rugby in the Central Borders. Straight after the Gala Jed game, which is free to get in, incidentally, you can pop down to the Green Yards to watch Edinburgh Rugby take on Leicester Tigers. That's at 2 o'clock for just £10 admission with concessions available. Then straight after the pro game, it's the new BT Charity Shield match with the Scottish Premiership champions Melrose taking on the Scottish Cup holders Heriot. That's a 5 o'clock kick-off. Admission is by donation to Breast Cancer Care. So let's concentrate on that tonight. I was down at the Green Yards at the launch of the new competition and first spoke with Melrose Director of Rugby Mike Dalgetty about this new initiative which came from the club.
Yes, we always support a cancer every year at the Sevens, and this year we decided that we would support one for the entire season. And breast care cancer came to mind because there's been individuals involved with the club who have had family problems of late, so it's a good one to go for.
And as you say, it's not just the Sevens now, it's the whole season, and that includes chain strip.
Yeah, we'll carry the pink logo, the ribbon. So the charity will get £5 for every replica that we sell, so it should be good.
And the game itself, obviously a nice curtain raiser to the season and a really meaningful fixture as well now that the trophy's in place.
Yeah, I think so. We need to raise the profile of the Premiership, and I think this is an excellent way to start. And I believe it's the first time that we can showcase the club game alongside the professional game on the same pitch in the same afternoon. So hopefully both sets of supporters will come together and have a really big day.
And a really good opportunity for people to get involved, not just with Melrose, but with the Edinburgh Club and support both.
Yeah, I think so. I think you saw from the Commonwealth Games that there is a buzz about rugby at the moment, and I know it may be different, but 180,000 people watching that shows there is an audience out there, and we've got to reach them, and we've got to be a bit more innovative and exciting, and get people here to enjoy the club game.
And you mentioned the Sevens at the Commonwealth Games, obviously a huge showcase for it and for the game in general, and I'm sure Melrose Sevens will benefit off the back of it.
Absolutely. I think there was a number of things that we looked at and will have learned from that event that we'll bring into ours. And Melrose Sevens 2015, I think, is an opportunity to come to the original and oldest Sevens party that exists. So we'll be trying to tap into the market that now obviously sits there.
Ben Chalmers, of course, is away to France, and Gary Holborn and Andrew Skeen are playing for Kelso next season, but it sounds as if you've filled the gaps quite well.
I think so. I think we always look to involve ambitious players here, and we don't have any problem with players going back to their roots or moving on, as long as they've enjoyed themselves here. And obviously Gary and Andrew Skeen have been very successful here, and we've got no complaints about them moving on at all.
But obviously a season you're looking forward to, and hopefully retaining that premiership.
Yeah, it'll be difficult. Every team plays its best against the champions. Our first game against Edinburgh Accies, new coaches, a lot of new players on their side, I think will be very difficult. But our players are buzzing. As I said, the numbers at training are significantly higher than last year. The attitude is really good, and we're excited.
And just finally, a little bit about the playoff system which has come into being this year, probably because of the British and Irish Cup not being in place. But that's a great initiative. It
is. I think it'll come the time. It'll depend on how you get into it. If you're in fourth or third place and hanging on, it'll be a blessing, and it'll be something you're really excited about. If you've won all the 18 games and then get beaten in a one-off semi-final, it's not going to be so clever. But it's the modern way. It's what excites the players. The players are looking forward to it, and I think it excites supporters. It's just a new way of doing it, and hopefully it'll bring a real focus on the end of the season. It's going to be big. It's going to be really good, and I just hope people come and watch the club game, because we've got some very, very good players, especially at this club.
Melrose fly half Richard Mill is certainly looking forward to the game.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, it's fantastic. I think because it's the end of pre-season and having a competitive game before the season starts properly, it's just great for all players from both teams and for Scottish Rugby. I think to have this sort of fixture, to have a fixture for Cup versus League winners. I think it's great, especially after our competitive fixture last week, and it'll warm us up. Well, I say warm us up nicely for the beginning of the season, but it'll be a proper good game, and we've got a lot of history with Heriots over the years. And fingers crossed it goes the right way. So,
well, I think with two teams that love to throw the ball about, we're going to get a few tries.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It'll be, we'll see what it's like because it'll be our second competitive fixture after pre-season. Working hard now on team plays, etc., and hopefully it comes to fruition come that day.
An opportunity to get some silverware in the cabinet right away.
Yeah, for sure, it's fantastic, and to have these opportunities to play at the Border League, for example. This is my going into my third season here, and so Border Rugby is very much it's quite new to me, but I feel very much a part of it now from being in Melrose. And to have the opportunity of winning silverware at the beginning of the season is just brilliant, and it will give us confidence if it goes well to start the season very strongly.
And I'm sure ambitions-wise you're looking towards pro rugby as well yourself.
Yes, that's been my goal since I was a young boy, and I still have massive ambitions in the game, and I'm not going to stop trying until I think it's not possible. And I just hope I can just be given an opportunity, and as other players would like as well, but I'm desperate for it, and I'm going to keep trying my best to get to that level.
I also had a chat with Head of Club Services of the Scottish Rugby Union, Nick Rennie.
It's one of our key strategies to raise the standard of domestic rugby, particularly the Premiership rugby. So it's a great illustration of having the pros playing and then Melrose and Heriot in the BT Charity Shield match straight after that. And I think the people who might come along and watch pro rugby will hopefully stay along and then witness at first hand what a great product Premiership rugby is, and that will hopefully encourage them to come along and watch more club rugby and more media coverage, more sponsorship as well. So it should be very exciting.
Now, of course, the B&I Cup is not going to be happening for Scottish clubs this season, which is disappointing. But on the plus side of that, we've got playoffs at the end of the season. That's very exciting.
Yeah, again, hats off to the Premiership and innovating and developing things like the BT Charity Shield. Having the playoffs at the end of the season is fantastic. Not only will that be a great end to the season with the playoffs and then the grand final, but that adds that extra spice throughout the season. So, if you have a scenario where top two teams maybe or one team breaks away, there'll be a number of teams that are maybe not playing for much, but everyone's playing for that top four place. So it's going to be competitive fixtures throughout the season, and then culminating in a very exciting playoffs, which we know have worked really well with the professional leagues, and a very exciting grand final. So I think it'll be a fantastic season, and just urge everyone to get along and support club rugby as best as they can.
Now, of course, club rugby is still very much being talked about at the moment. What's going to happen in the future? Is it going to be the Super 8? Is it going to be districts returning? What were your own kind of thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's how we all work together to improve the standards over the next few seasons. So how can we, Scottish Rugby and the clubs, work together to make further developments in coaching standards, strength and conditioning, nutrition. So put the infrastructure in to create that professional environment, and then we will look to develop that. And who knows, maybe 2-3 seasons down the line we might have a situation where we've got a semi-professional league to help us bridge that gap with the professional game.
Radio Borders will be at the Green Yards tomorrow. Stuart McFarlane and Bruce Miller covering both games down there. And on Sunday at 10 a.m. on Radio Borders, I'll be rounding up all the weekend action. That's a regular slot for rugby. Make a note, 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Now, there are a few friendlies being played tomorrow. Duns versus Ross High, Kelso against Westow, Langham play Annan, Selkirk A are taking on Hawick Lindeen, and Selkirk Stormers also at home to Walkerburn. A quick mention that former Selkirk player Lee Jones was this week given an extension to his contract at Glasgow Warriors for a further year, but he'll also be involved with Scotland Sevens during their IRB World Series campaign. Two Borders teenagers, Rory Howarth from Gala and George Taylor of Melrose, took part in the first Scotland Under-19 v Romania Under-19 test match in Bucharest during the week, both scoring points in a 31-3 win, and both expected to be in the squad for the next test on Sunday when they take on Romania Under-20. Well, finally tonight, a chat with the new Hawick coach Nikki Walker, who took over the reins from Phil Leck after Phil signed for Edinburgh Accies.
I'm really happy to get this opportunity. I've done a little bit of coaching while I've been playing professionally, but more age grade level, and it's great to step up to senior level and get an opportunity to coach at Hawick. And they're a team in a town that I'm passionate about, so that's a bonus, really.
So how did it all come about?
Well, obviously the last coach has left recently, and it's something that I've seen, and I've seen the opportunity was there, so I thought, why not go for it? I spoke to the club about it before because they were looking for me to assist Phil this season, but Phil obviously left, so I just stepped up and applied and went through interviews and whatever, and I was the man chosen to do the job, which I'm really pleased about.
And you're a bit of a magnet for people coming back again to Hawick.
I've spoke to some guys that were playing out with Hawick, at other border clubs and throughout Scotland, and told them what I'm planning to do with Hawick Rugby Club and the town's rugby, and they seem to be pretty excited about that. And there is guys coming back, Michael Robertson, Gary Lowry, Matty Douglas have come back already, and hopefully we can get some more back in the near future as well. It's not going to change overnight. We're obviously looking for success at the club and putting the club back where it belongs, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's a long-term plan, and if players don't come back this season, hopefully they'll come back in the seasons to follow. And
of course, last season you played quite a bit of rugby in the green jersey, also in the maroon jersey as well, but we won't talk about that today. But as you said, you're passionate about the town and the club.
Yes, definitely. Hawick's lucky. There's some great talent in the town, and I think we can find some more. We need to nurture more of that talent. We've got some great feeder clubs in Hawick, and the under-18 sides and the 16 sides just produce talent all the time. But I think there could be more if we are more proactive in nurturing that talent and giving them weights programmes and helping them progress in skills sessions and things. So that's something that I'll definitely be looking to do in the town, and help those youngsters to not just go on and play for Hawick, but hopefully further honours.
Now, historically, there's been a lot of politics involved in Hawick. So many teams, of course, and everyone's tried to get the town together. What's your own kind of format for that?
I think we have to develop coaches in the town. I think, getting young guys that have maybe just stopped playing to maybe put a few years into the game as well and get them out coaching. And there's, as I said, there's a lot of talented players in Hawick, and that doesn't mean just playing. That means after finishing playing, hopefully they can help nurture that talent in the town and make Hawick rugby more sustainable, rather than having to go out with the town looking for players. Hopefully there'll be players coming through year after year, and we'll have a conveyor belt of players coming through all the time, so there's competition for places, and players are using Hawick as a vehicle to get to higher things.
That's your lot for Rugby Tonight. I'm Stuart Cameron. I'll be back here next Friday.